Welcome to the podcast, hablemos de lo nuevo. For the G's, by the G's, que pasa en el terreno. Vienen jugadores y se van, traiga lo nuevo, a huevo. Doesn't matter where you from, Salvador, Mexico, Honduras, Nicaragua. Todo mi latino, come and listen for an hour. TikTok, que traemos lo que quiere. Todo lo que pasa dentro y fuera de las redes. Really? You don't know what it is. Reportamos con la lupa what we see at the digs. En las buenas y en las malas yo diré la verdad. Si cometen un error o tienen habilidad, la calidad del rival cuando viene a jugar. Facts. Yo no me muerdo la lengua. Got love for the crest in the city I came from. Los campeones de campeones y con copas mi race. No empezamos el programa, soy la voz de LA One. Soy la voz de LA One. Love. Yeah.
Hello, hola, and buenas to everyone out there, all you LA Galaxy fans and all you Lacuna Galaxians. You are looking good out there, baby. You are in first place. Give yourself a pat on the back. Man, it feels good to be in first place in the West and on the supporter shield table. Of course, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I have one of your co-hosts. I'm Rob Halon. You can find my written work at Last Word on Sports, and you can find me online at El Escudero de LA. Today, we're going to be reacting to the LA Galaxy's 1-0 home win over the Sounders, LA's first home win of the season and first over Seattle since 2018. That propels them, like I said, to first place in the table and keeps them unbeaten. I mean, raise your hand if your team is unbeaten and in first place. Yeah. I hope everyone is raising their hand out there. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring back to you guys my co-host, El Gitano Perdido, the one and only ride or die GN homie, the SADA one, Ananda Kirana.
Papa, it's April Fool's today, but I just gotta say, it's no joke. We're
It's
top
no
of the
joke.
league. We're top of the league.
I like all those hands being raised out there.
We
Yeah,
are
yay.
top of the league, Papa. Can you believe it? It's no joke. I'm not joking. This is for real now. I know it's April Fool's, and like I said in the chat, we're the only two fools on the show. So thanks for hanging out with us, chat. But it's no joke, man. Crazy, right? Crazy.
Hey, it is crazy. It is wonderful. I'm glad all you long-suffering LA Galaxy fans had that patience to stick with this team, and now you're reaping the fruits. Now you're there, and they're in first place. Shout out to It's Chris. Just got done playing some futsal, listening to this pod. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And, you know, I know that Chris is out at the dig, so let us know where you guys are listening to this pod from. I'm in Glendale here, and, of course, Ananda is down there in Ontario. So let us know where you're listening to this humble little pod at. But Ananda, I want to know your one-word match reaction. And of course, I would love to see. Yeah, no. Hey, we're acting like fools today, right? It's April Fools. We're acting like fools. So yeah, we're going there, and we got to harp on what's beautiful and the Galaxy's win. The Galaxy's in first place. And chat, let me know how you're feeling about it. One word reaction. Ananda, vamos.
Well, I might disappoint you on this one, but I'll explain myself later. But it was ugly. That's my one word. It was ugly, man. It was. If it's one of those games where Robert, if he said, you know what, if we win the chip this year, like if that dream, if that Nirvana ever happens, this is not a game that I would want to go back and rewatch and replay and relive. Let's put it that way.
Ask me now.
Okay, one word, Papa.
Necessary.
I like
just
it.
like you said, when you go back on the season, and
it.
if the Galaxy end up getting that sixth, the race to six, right? Like we're dreaming big now, right? But let's say they pick up that trophy, right? It's games like this that are going to get them there. these are the necessary ones. Get me a jacket. It's cold up here in first place. Ooh, nah.
I got the
For
thermal
real
on
though,
today. Yeah, man.
Galaxy Maniac 562. I mean, it's beautiful
IE
up here at
represent.
the top. Exactly. So
Yeah,
yeah,
from
man,
Anaheim.
necessary.
Yeah.
Necessary is what I'm going to say about this game.
I like it.
But you know what? I asked you for the one word match reaction, but what you haven't done is your thing. Do your
I
thing.
know. Well, really too, like chat. So Alvaro said it was a grind. Yeah, it was a grind, man, for sure. Chat definitely played in your
Yep.
1-1 reaction. So yeah, we got a lot to get up to today. I know we want to react with you guys. I know you guys want to react with us and boast and gloat and like Galaxy Maniac said, it's cold up here in first place. Especially going to the stank this week, which we will talk about a little bit as well towards the end of the show. But yeah, let me get the housekeeping out of the way. So of course, you can always block me or stalk me at Ananda Galaxiana, and you can always find us at all of our socials and all that good stuff. So at Lacuna Galaxiana. And of course, you found our YouTube. So obviously that we have a YouTube channel at Lacuna Galaxiana. Guys, if you have not hit us up with a subscribe, definitely please do that. It'll help out the channel quite a bit. If you like what you're hearing, give us that like and put someone on. Go ahead and share this video as well. And again, if this is your first time, welcome. If you're coming back, chat, we love you. So it's nice to see you again. And it's all about the feels right now, right? And part of that too is me going back to the stadium and seeing familiar faces. And it's I'm having this this sort of repeatable moment again with the chat and hanging out with all you G's. So that's always the best. Pero Roberto, the thing that you always ask for, como siempre, antes de olvidarme, ¿no?
Do it.
Buenos días, tardes o noches y bienvenidos a otro capítulo de La Cuna Galaxiana. I don't think we're going to keep this one La Cunita because we're too excited. We got too much to talk about. And you and I can talk Galaxy football all day or Galaxy soccer all day. Man. So let's get to it, man. Let's get to
it. Who we trying to kid, man? This might not be a La Cunita, but it might. Who knows? I mean, we might just be like, "Wow," and it's done, But you know what? We're going to get into this match because it's big because it was a night of firsts. And really quick, Raul, thank you once again for listening to the show. And yes, Peck is invited to the carne asada. He's invited to wherever he wants to go, honestly.
And so is Kobe Cosmo, apparently.
Kobe Cosmo invited to the carne asada. Yes, Kobe Cosmo is, still trying to live up his birthday real big. And I keep telling him, it's not your birthday anymore. He's like, Pop, it's my birthday all month. He's that excited about the Galaxy being in the first place as well.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like his birthday again.
Yeah, so he's going off, and of course, just like Ananda said, you can listen to Kobe Cosmo here on this pod, and you guys can stay abreast of when he's actually going to come on and say hello to everybody by subscribing to this pod. Ananda told you where to find us on Thursday. It is El Tráfico week. So on Thursday, we're going to bring you a match reaction at 9 p.m. with special guest Justin Ruderman of MLS.com. This is an away match, so there's going to be plenty of opportunities for you guys to get together with G's out there. That game's at 4:30. Official kick is at 4:55. And of course, I'll probably be at BMO Stadium myself. Ananda, I'm not sure if you're going to go out and catch this at a watch party, but if you do, everyone out there, remember SADA, see Ananda, drink Ananda. It is still going. He is still in training. He put in some work this weekend.
Yeah, I might have to do a watch party world tour. I mean, shoot, like SADA. I mean, I gotta build up my. It's like get those reps in, right, Robert? Got to get those reps in.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just jump into the deep end, right? So you have to train for SADA. But again, this is training for Austin. Guys, if you're going to be in Austin, please hit us up. Come find us. We're going to be out and about. Of course, we're going to be at the game. And you know what? We want to hook up with you guys. We want to talk to you guys and see how your Austin experience is going, what you thought of the season so far. So hit us up if you're going to be in Austin, and of course, SADA. And without further ado, let's get into these shout outs here. You know who else is unbeaten and in first place?
Those youngins, man. Those youngins.
Yeah. Los pibes, los pollitos están aquí en primer lugar. Galaxy 2, aka también conocido como Ventura County FC. They are in first place after a 5-2 wrecking of Tacoma Defiance, aka Seattle Sounders 2. Ruben Ramos had 2 goals, Gino Vivi had 2, and Sean Karani had 1. And that man from wait, really quick fact check. Johnny from
Pico.
Pico.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
I wanted to say Panorama City, but that was Saldana.
That was Saldana. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, good. So Pico Rivera, stand up and applaud your man Johnny Perez, who had 3 assists in this match. I saw some opinions out there saying, he's just too good to be playing down there with Galaxy 2. But you know what? At least he's getting that playing time. So good on him, and good performance by all involved. So yeah, like I said, also undefeated, also in first place. That winning culture. You know what? There's been a couple times in the past 10 years when they've talked about we want to play the same football from the academy all the way up to the first team. And I think this is the first time we're actually seeing it kind of like be true. We do have an update here in a sec. Well, actually, I'll give you the update here about the academy just to reinforce that the U15s made it out of group play at the GA Cup. We told you about Matt Zaubert last show, I believe, and how they're balling out. So they beat Toronto FC 1-0 to go into the next round, the knockout rounds. But this is kind of what I'm talking about. Like the team is from the academy to the first team, kind of playing in the same way. They're getting exciting results. So shout out to Ventura County FC, shout out to the Galaxy Academy, and good luck for the rest of the tournament. And Ananda, I did mention it's El Tráfico week.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of stuff going on. If you weren't one of the lucky few to get a ticket to go to BMO Stadium this weekend, because that's pretty much the only way you get to sit with the Galaxy supporters is if you enter this lottery and you win, right? So if you weren't chosen, well, first off, I'm sorry, and hugs, but second off, there's plenty of opportunities still to get together with your fellow G's. A bunch of watch parties out there. The official Galaxy watch party is going to be at the Digs at Galaxy Park on April 6th, of course, game day. Corner of the Galaxy will also be doing a live show that day, so check out Corner of the Galaxy socials and their webpage for more info on that. Absolution Brewing will also be doing a watch party. That one starts at 4:30, and FU Labs will also be in the house with a pop-up, so go ahead and check that out. FU Labs does not miss with their merch, so go ahead and check it out. Big Hector, shout out. Him and the IEGs will be back at Common Ground Public House at 4:30 with their watch party for El Tráfico. So I'm sure as the game gets closer, I'm sure by match preview pod we'll have a couple more for you guys, and of course you guys can also always check out the supporter groups on the socials there, and you guys can check out more info. So Ananda, I know that you and I are no longer in the Liga G season, but the Liga G season rumbles on. It's playoff time. Tomorrow will be Wait, what day is it? It's Monday,
Wednesday,
right? Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
right?
Okay. Wednesday. Yeah. Wednesday will be the semifinals. Wednesday, April 3rd. Number 1 Mamba versus number 5 Walnut, and number 2 Rhino versus number 3 Atomic. Ananda, do you have a dog in the fight here? I know, we played all these teams.
They're all tough, man.
And they, I was about to say they're all tough teams. I mean, we did manage to beat Rhino. We took, I think we got a draw against Walnut once. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And of course Mamba's just Mamba, so
Yeah.
And don't discount Atomic, but anyway, do you have would you like to see any one of these 4 win? Like, do you have a dog in the fight?
Well, I'll tell you what. I actually ran into the commissioner, Mauricio.
Shout out Commish.
And a couple of the boys. I don't know if you guys are listening to, or if you're in the chat, if you're listening to this, but shout out VGN Gamer and shout out Gio from Rhino, who I personally met. And hey, man, those Rhino boys, they seem up ready for the challenge, man. They they were talking up a big game and they're ready for their match. So I think I might be going with Rhino, which might be an unpopular pick given Mamba's dominance in Liga G lately. So, but no, man, it'll be interesting because I know all these teams are, man. They let me tell you from firsthand experience, they are some top teams for sure.
Yes, for damn sure. Well, good luck to all 4 teams involved. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Of course, we'll bring you the updates here and let you know who ends up winning Liga G. I believe season 13. Is that accurate? Season 13.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So season 13. So we'll let you know who wins season 13. Of course, Mama took last season undefeated. They're on their way to doing it again, but to taking another title. But we have a couple of teams standing in their way. So let's see what happens. Wanna, Rhino, and Atomic. I mean, it's time to knock the champ off their perch if it can be done. So good luck to all 4 teams. And then also good luck to Vicky Mercado, the Galaxy director of communications. Had her last game with the club this past Saturday. Man, she really was an integral part of this club. She debuted with the team on February 2014. She did 380 games for the club over 10 years. She did every significant milestone in those 10 years, including every El Tráfico, was a part of the team for 2014, the MLS Cup 2014 winning team. And now, after putting up real numbers here in Los Angeles, she will make her way to San Diego FC to be their vice president of communications. So all I can say is good luck to Vicky. I mean, I've told Ananda this. I mean, she seemed that she loves the Galaxy, so she's been a huge part of the team. And I really thought, as long as I was going to be covering the club, that she would be there. I thought she would be there, and until my children would be loving the club as well, and adults and stuff like that, because it just seemed like she was such a cornerstone of the club like that. So anyway, good luck to her and all her ventures. And you know what? We'll see you in San Diego next year for some good old soccer. And on that day, we won't really be aligned anymore. But good luck to you, Vicky. And man, so and really the entire Galaxy comms team, because they're going to go through this transition. It's not easy to replace a Vicky Mercado, so and they're already doing a fantastic job. Kevin Acevedo is rocking it over there, so good job. And you know what, that's all I have to say about that, like Forrest Gump said, Ananda. So now we get into a transfer rumor.
Yeah, it's silly season already.
It's already started.
Wow. Let's bring the kid up then.
Yeah, man. So the Galaxy have been in the market for a center back. It hasn't been a secret that's been their desire. We spoke to Will Kuntz at the PNP presentation, the Peck and Pencil presentation, and we asked him, like what's left for this team, like where do you guys need to retool, restock, and he did say even then that they needed some depth in center back position. If it lets you guys know that I have a contact out there that did show off some of their clients to the Galaxy and in the young center back mold. Nothing happened on that front, but it looks like it's about to happen for young Carlos Emiro Garcés. The Galaxy are looking to acquire the 22-year-old Colombian defender from Deportivo Pereira. He's played for DP 57 times. He over 4 years, so he has some experience under his belt, and he's still 22. He's being loaned to the Galaxy with the buy option. Ananda, any thoughts on this one? Any doubts, worries? Are you excited?
Actually, first question, is it official or is it just rumored? I saw Tom Bogart's last tweet was
rumored.
It's close, right? Or
yeah, it's not done yet for sure. And okay. But that's actually to piggyback on what Will told us that day, like when the deals are the closest to being done is usually when they fall apart. So
it's right.
You know what? So it's not done yet, but Tommy Bogart's already reported on it, saying that it's close. So it's he for me and you, Ananda. I mean, let's just face it. Tommy is kind of like Fabricio level, like where he says that there's got to be something to that, right? So anyway, it's not done, but it's looking to be done. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
same question. How do you feel on it? And then shout out to executive producer Herb. Thanks for finding the pod. Thank you for tuning in. We
yeah.
really appreciate it.
Welcome, man.
Comment
Welcome.
comments SE96. What's up, y'all? Matt, we miss you, man. Love you. So anyway, Ananda,
And
your
Raul,
answer on this.
and I was gonna say, Raul, thanks for. I mean, you guys just welcome him, man. Every new sort of Lacuna Galaxian that comes in here, man, just definitely welcome him. You know, you guys come with a good vibe, so love that energy. But Robert, I mean, even before talking about the player, like, you know, the first thing that came in mind when I heard about this room, I was like, we've been talking about this one, and it's a clear gap in the team's or sort of a weakness of the team, right, roster wise. And it's amazing, like, the Galaxy are now an organization and a team that you recognize the weakness, and it's not even talk, it's all action. Like, it gets done, right? Like, we are a team now that is serious. Like, we are a serious team, and that goes not only on the pitch but from the top, like from Will Kuntz. Like, he's serious about making us he said, even in your what was that, the video, our Galaxy, I can't remember which one it was, but he can't guarantee us a chip, but damn well he's gonna fight tooth and nail trying to get us as much wins as we can and trying to win that chip, right?
I think he said that in that letter to the season ticket
The
members.
letter, that's right. That's what it
yeah.
was. That's what it was. Yeah. And so that was the first thing that popped to mind, and it's just amazing, right? So I mean, even not knowing anything about this player, obviously, but just the fact that we are targeting that position amidst, and we didn't even talk about the show because it was a non-starter to begin with, amidst all those sort of fluffy Dries Mertens and all those other rumors that just didn't make sense, right? So that's the first thing I got to say, and that makes me really happy. The other thing I got to say is, so Alex Ruiz, shout out Profe Alex. I know he just did a pod, or I don't know if they're still on with Corner of the Galaxy.
Maybe currently still on. Shout out to both of those cats.
Yeah, shout out to both of those cats. And Alex put out a really, really good article at Galactic Tribune. So, and it breaks down in depth sort of Carlos Garcés' strengths and weaknesses. So go ahead and check that out. You know, support our boy Alex there, Profe Alex. But one of the things that I picked out of his article, Robert, is he is the type of center back that I think is going to complement what we have so far and what we're missing in Jalen Neal, which is sort of a younger, more athletic, quick ball playing center back. And that's who we've been missing. Maya and
walk it back first, because Jalen is a quick ball playing center back. Well,
I said Jalen. We've been missing that, right? We've been missing that because of injuries. And you know, it's been a little
walk it back. Don't be saying no slander on my Jalen.
He will always be the truth on the show. You do know this. Shout out Galaxy Mom wherever you are if you're listening to this. But look, it's clear, right? Unfortunately, we haven't heard a lot on Jalen, and I don't know if that's a good thing, right? It's kind of a little more like day to day, week to week kind of thing.
It's not a good thing.
So, I mean, but the thing is, we're doing something about it, right? And this is the depth that we need. By the way, no knock on Nephew. We'll talk about Nephew later, but you know, no knock on Nephew. Like, he's been doing a more than serviceable job.
I love how you just embraced that nickname. It's like
more than Nephew. Right? I mean, it is, because you know what? Everyone in my section on Saturday started chanting his name for a little bit. So there you go.
Hey, nice.
But yeah. So back to Garcés, man. It's the skill set that we need. I've always talked about, if we look at players, we're always looking at what skill sets are we missing, and it's clear this is the one. And the best thing is, we're also being smart about this. It's a loan with an option to buy, right, Robert? If this goes through, so if it doesn't work out,
we get to rent him out, see what's he about.
If he gets an unfortunate injury like Calegari, we have the option not to bring him back. So it's just good news on all fronts, man. I think this is a really shrewd piece of business if this gets done. Again, know nothing about the kid. If you guys want to know more, check out Alex's like I said, article where he breaks it down. But signs are good. Signs are for sure good.
So I just want to let you know, Ananda, I learned how to read yesterday just so I could read.
It's Alex's that ESL thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There he is. So, speak of the devil.
Hey,
Alex.
Speaking of you guys, so Alex, I was just about to big up your article because I actually learned how to read so I could read this thing. But anyway, I really, guys, definitely go out and read this. But what I got out of this is that, just like you said, Ananda, he compliments the back line in a good way by being that last center back that's fast and that can get to the last man in transition. Obviously, I've had trouble in defense in transition, and so Garcés is going to be that guy who's going to be fast and be able to catch up to the opposing team's striker. Alex did say that he isn't that great in the air, the aerial duels, and of course the Galaxy are not doing well on set pieces, so that's kind of like the one drawback there. But you know what? He's 22 and he's got a big career ahead of him, and I think that Greg is going to be able to do good things with him. Here's the big question here. I sat here contemplating this rumor earlier, and first thinking about Jalen Neal and his injury and where he might be, and then what it might do or and how it might impact his development, right? And then secondly, where does that leave someone like Marcus Furcanis, right? Who is
Good point.
on the fringes, has played with the first team, a handful of times, and
Played in preseason. Yeah,
exactly, and
yep.
by all intents and purposes is going to be one of the Galaxy center backs at some point. I mean, I've seen him play. I believe he has a skill set to be an MLS center back, and so yeah, where does that leave him? Do you think that they just don't see it in him, Ananda, or like, well, what do you think might be going on?
Yeah, I mean, it's and he's at that age, right? Alex, you or whoever in the chat, you guys can probably fact check me on this, but I think he's at that age where it's almost like now or never, meaning if he doesn't get into the first team, I don't know if he's going to get a lot more development out of being in Ventura County, right? Or another development league. So I feel like it's now or never for him. He's at that age. So you bring up a really good point, Robert, that I think that brings up more questions around for Kranis. Clearly, Greg and the coaching staff are just not seeing that that he's ready yet, which is why we're even looking at this signing. I feel like maybe they're probably the same age, Carlos Garcés and for Kranis, around that 22, 23 age range. So yeah, man, you're right. Brings up a lot of questions, which is unfortunate because you and I always like seeing people go through the academy and getting a chance, but it just doesn't look like it's happening for him. Not with this rumor for sure.
King Darwin has some thoughts on this one. Kuhn's setting us up not only for the season but for the next couple years. I mean, not a bad game plan. I mean, you bring in a Colombian center back who Profe Alex says is the fastest in Colombia, can be an immediate contributor right now. Let's face, yeah. Oh, for 21.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, he's at that age, man. Jalen Neal, I think, he broke in the team when he was, I believe he was 20 when he broke in the team. So it's that prime development years, and we'll see. I think he's
but look at back to what King Darwin said, right? Maya, how's Maya? 36, 37. Martin is 37. I mean, let's be realistic about it. One of them is probably not going to be playing for the Galaxy next year, right? I mean, I'd be very surprised if both of them were playing and were both the starting center backs for the Galaxy next year. Not because they don't have the ability, but just because of the age factor. I mean, we'll get more into Martin in a moment. But I think that King Darwin may be onto something here. You bring in Garcés, you bring in you have Jalen Neal at that point, you have Furcanis at that point. You have three very, very good center backs that can go ahead and contribute and step into the lineup. And of course, then you have Nephew. So
yeah, that's right. We still have Nephew, right? And again, good point by Alvaro here. It allows us to not rush Neal back, which is huge, right? We've got to be careful with this Jalen Neal injury, and this gives us cover because right now we're playing with three center backs, and that's not enough. We definitely need at least four. So yeah, good move all around. Let's see where hopefully Tommy Bogert drops a stash bomb pretty soon here, and it will be all sealed up.
Well, Prof. Alex agrees with you. He says he's made no first team appearances. That alone tells me he's likely going down the Adam Saldana route. Yeah, I hope not. I like him. I rate him. But you know what? It is troubling that he hasn't made his breakthrough into the first team yet. So anyway, let's see how that develops. Of course, this one is not done. But Tommy said that it's close. So any time now it should be. So watch out for Garcés becoming the new LA Galaxy center back. We'll go ahead and update you guys on that as it comes. But the reason, this center back thing is so big is because during the LA Galaxy's match against the Seattle Sounders, starting center back Martin Garcés was back in the lineup after a red card picked up against St. Louis, but he only lasted 20 minutes, Ananda. He went down with an injury. He was visibly upset. I mean, as soon as he went down, man, he was hitting the turf like just in anger, frustration.
Yeah.
I don't know if the TV caught that, but I mean, if the TV didn't catch it, it was like kind of hard to watch because, like Greg said a couple weeks ago, he's a warrior first and foremost, so as soon as he went down, he must have known like, hey, this is not right. And that's, the frustration boils over and he starts hitting the pitch, but Zavaleta, for all intents and purposes, came in to play this game after only 20 minutes. And so that's the big storyline from the lineup. But the other big storylines from the lineup here are that Gabriel Peck had another start. Gaston had his first start of the season, and then record-breaking Dayon, the man who had 5-5, and everybody was thinking was going to break the record, did not get the start. It was a big surprise. Kevin Baxter hit us up with the news there that it was a groin issue, and it was mostly precautionary. Dayon did come in a little bit later into the game and had a substitute appearance. But anything surprise you, chat, on this lineup? Were you surprised that Gaston finally got his start when he did? Ananda, did anything surprise you?
Yeah, the big surprise for me was, and we were talking about it, as we were tailgating in lot 13 there. So shout out to all you guys, by the way, that came up, and that was a really, really fun sort of pregame, even in the sort of half drizzle. Like, it actually didn't rain as bad earlier on the match. Yeah, not too bad. But I think it's got to be Dayon, right? He was there trying to go for the record. We did not know he was injured at the time, but I was speculating at that moment because you and I were kind of looking at each other and wondering what was going on. Unfortunately, that did not happen.
We gave each other this one.
Yeah, kind of like what? Obviously, informed striker. So, and then Miguel Berry, which we'll talk about his performance in a little bit. I was very happy, though, Rob, to see Gaston Brugman start. We had been talking about this the last few games, and he finally got the call. And I mean, it's a big man. He's so vital to that midfield. I feel like just both offensively, defensively, he provides that cover for the back four. So that was really, really nice to see as well. But Rob, for me, man, the biggest thing for me, and I want to pull this up, it wasn't really the lineup. It was the formation. It was how we use this lineup, right? And that was a surprise to me. And it's funny because I pulled this up from SofaScore, and they actually had it as a 4-4-2, which when I saw, I was paying attention to sort of like the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, and I was trying to figure out what formation they were playing. It was clear that Ricky was on that left side, and either Paintsel or even Peck would sort of roam around as sort of playing the second striker off of Miguel Berry. And you know what? It doesn't surprise me that when I kind of reflect and think back on it, Rob, if you think about all the appearances for Miguel Berry this year, it's been, if you think about like that second half in Nashville, think about sort of the second half performances, substitution performances, he's been partnered with either a Dayon where they were chasing a game, right? Especially in Nashville. And he's always had that guy that, he partners up with. I think because of his skill set, he's not the most mobile. He's more of a target man. He pulls his body around. I think he needs that other guy to sort of play off of. And I think Vanny realized that. Not only that, and, I heard Alex talking about this according to the Galaxy, we were really overloading that right side. I don't know why we were trying to target Nuhu. I actually thought that if we were to target someone, it would be sort of the young right back on the other side. But we want to target that side, and that's how we got our first goal. But yeah, I thought the bigger surprise for me was sort of the formation and sort of how that evolved even throughout the game, rather than the lineup itself.
Yeah, no, sorry. I actually had been calling for, not calling, but like had been kind of excited to see what Miguel Berry could bring in a longer kind of appearance. Of course, I didn't want it to be at the expense of Dayon, but I knew that at some point, Dayon was going to have to get a spell. So I'm glad we get to see what he brings to the team over the 90 minutes. Greg did say post game that he likes Miguel Berry coming at opposing defenses in the later stages of matches, and like you said, throwing his body around and
Yeah.
you know, causing them problems in that way. Just so I don't think that unless Dayon gets injured, I don't think that's going to be like a permanent thing. But it is interesting to see them as well line up together, Dayon and Miguel Berry. Of course, that's where one of the goals in that Nashville game came from, is them linking up. But yeah, I don't really think there was any other surprises in the lineup. Of course, guys, if you weren't privy to the happenings at this game on Saturday, if you were under a rock, the LA Galaxy earned a 1-0 shutout win over Seattle. Finally, their first since 2018, where they won 3-0 on September 23rd. They extended their 6-match unbeaten run for their first home win of the season. They recorded their first 1-0 win since a playoff win against Nashville in 2022. And of course, Ananda, the big storyline here in the lead up to the game was the weather. Was this game even going to be played? I mean, they had literally had vatos like just sweeping the water off the pitch. I mean, I saw a couple years ago in Ecuador in durante una final, and people were like, oh, Ecuador, like, they don't even have like the drainage on the pitch. And then I saw it here, and I'm like, yeah, see, it's not an Ecuador thing. It's like a weather thing, man. Like the pitch gets soggy.
Yeah, I mean, look at those, look at those pictures, man. It's like all splashes and puddles of water as they're striking the ball. By the way, shout out to Ravi Drums. By the way, so again, as I told you guys, this is my first home game, right? And the vibe is so different, man. Like, it was funny because I knew that they had DJs and stuff, and I didn't know it was kind of like the first 15 or so minutes before pre-match, right, for the national anthems. And it's such a different vibe. Like I was feeling it, and there was like people around my section just sort of up and like dancing and having a good time. And man, it was really fun to see. Like, I can't imagine how that would be on a sunny day. And because even with that, in a not so typical LA day, man, Robbie Drums he put on a good show. I'll give him props.
Yeah, man. Like you said, it was your first game. Of the season. You missed Toki Monster, you missed Alesso, and yeah, I mean, they weren't like really my kind of music, but like I could see, when you've had a couple of those modelos, in pregame or tailgating, and how you're like, yeah, this is it right here. And of course you were playing SADA already, so like you were like, hey, this is tight, right on. Hey, this is an interesting factoid here. Galaxy Goal says that Tom Bogert said that with Gaston on the pitch the last 3 games, the Galaxy have not conceded a goal. I mean,
sounds right.
Yeah, there's a reason. So and then I'm just gonna put this one out there because I like this joke. Comment says, you might say, no one plays like Gaston. No one passes like Gaston. Anyway, thanks, Matt, for that one. That made my night for sure. Yeah, man.
See, Marvin agrees with me too. Robbie was bad. By the way, I did see about that mohawk. I did see someone tweet like, "Is that Efra? Is that Efra up there? Did he come back?" And
I did see that. I did see, and I have seen Efra score a couple goals for Tijuana. So good on him, man. Like, you know what? Like, I never wish the lad any ill. I'm glad he's having a good time in Tijuana and scoring some goals. But yeah, the pitch conditions were bad, man. I mean, like I got to the press box and I saw them like just basically
squeegeeing it out,
and I was like, oh man, this one's gonna be really, really hard for the Galaxy. I mean, their game is based around possession, and the ball was gonna be. I mean, I saw them trying to pass, and the ball just dying in midfield, just plopping, just like whoop, and I'm like, man, this is gonna be super tough for them to like play their game, play their soccer, right? And you know what? They came out and they dealt with it. I mean, within a couple moments, they had already hit the post, Ananda. So, I mean, what were your impressions of the pitch and like kind of like the lead up, man, from where you were?
Well, it was horrible. Like, there was just puddles everywhere, and I actually thought the opposite. I thought actually like the ball would kind of skid more because you and I have played on like some sort of like semi-rainy days and stuff like that. But no, it was just straight puddles. Like the ball just wouldn't move. I mean, you could see players like having to hit the ball like an extra 20-30% harder just to get it to them. So yeah, it made for really, as I said, it was ugly. Like, and again, I'll talk about a little bit about that more, but it just made the game really, really ugly. This game would have been totally different, which is why I think in the prediction, both you and our boy El Rolo, Nico. You predicted high scoring games. Luckily, I predicted a clean sheet, which I was right, but I was not expecting this bad of a weather and this bad of a pitch. That's not what I was predicting.
Y'all saw the humble brag real quick. Like, luckily,
I mean, that's 2 for me this year, by the way. It's two. So.
Well, congratulations to you for calling it. I think I have 1, right? I have 1 to my name.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And you're also Mr. Got It Wrong, so you have that to show for it. So there you go.
Yeah, I have that one. That one was a big whiff right there. So anyway,
pitch was awful. Pitch was awful.
Yeah, and so like I said, it was really surprising to me that they came out and played so well to start. I mean, within the first couple moments, Joe Pants had done a couple of flicks with like the back heel, was earning oohs and ahs from people, and within 2 minutes he had hit the post, and you're like, man, how unlucky is this guy? He's hit the post 3 times already this season. But a couple moments later, Ricky hooks up with Paintsil. Paintsil passes to Peck, and Gabriel Peck gets his first LA Galaxy goal for the 1-0 in the 4th minute. Yeah, I mean, and it's lovely to see everybody celebrating together. I mean, you guys can see it in the background there. Joe Pants and Miguel Berry are running up. I mean, you can tell that this team is enjoying playing together. I mean, you can't fake that kind of passion. I love to see it. And more than anything, I love to see that this was the first time the 3 DPs hooked up for a goal. I mean, they've been. Yep, King Darwin says DP's delivering once again. They hooked up for the goal. They have been, hooking up here and there, but this is the first time we saw like a direct link. I mean, they're going to be dangerous guys when they've played like 10 games together. I mean, and kind of like that intuition is there. Man, the things you're going to be able to do with the ball, like the little flicks, the little back heels that they're going to do. I mean, it's going to be lovely to see. I can't wait. So yeah, Galaxy go up 1-0, and really that's all they needed in this match. I mean, they like you said, they got their first clean sheet of the year. They kept that defensive shape, even though we had a Jordan Morris like scare at the very, very end. McCarthy makes a couple of good saves. The defense stands tall, including nephew Zavaleta, who again gets called in to the game in the last, within 20 minutes and goes out there and does his job. So I'm what can you say about this team other than it just feels different, man? It's everyone's just going out there and doing their job, from Zavaleta to the DPs to the defense, and it's getting better. Like the Beazle said, it's hard to believe it's getting better all the time, and it is.
It feels different for sure. I mean, even executive producer Herb agrees. I mean, atmosphere is different for sure. He says Kuntz, Misselbrook, and Braun all over it. Agreed, man. And even just like, again, we talked about this so many times on the show, organizationally, top to bottom, including all the 11 players that are on that pitch. I mean, it's good stuff all around, man. It's just, it is a, dare I say, we are getting back to being a world-class organization, which is, that's music to my ears, my brother.
Yeah, and we've talked about it from the top down, right? I mean, it starts with the front office
to the academy
all
kids.
The way. Yeah, exactly. And we're seeing it right now. Everything is aligned right now. And of course, let's temper expectations. We are 6 games in, right? Yeah. There are going to be pitfalls. This team will lose at some point this season, maybe. But you know what? We just want to temper expectations. I look at this season as one of those seasons where anything can happen. They can surprise us, and we've seen them surprise us. But you know what? Like I said, when I predicted a loss and I became Mr. Got It Wrong, when you lose, don't lose the lesson. So when we do lose, if we lose, don't lose the lesson, right? So
yeah,
Ananda,
still a long way to go.
Yeah, still a long way to go, man. The season is long. There's a whole ass entire tournament during the middle of the season, right? So it's
That's right.
like you have that to contend with. I mean, you already have an injury to a key center back. So I mean, let's get up, and we're gonna get up, but let's temper those expectations. But for the moment, let's like I said, let's get up. So the Galaxy win this game 1-0. All they need is Gabriel Peck's goal, and he looked wonderful, Ananda. But post match, we had some G's that had a couple of reactions and these things to say, including one of yours. Let's go ahead.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Zero Cool out there in the Carolinas. Shout out to you. He said, I'm drunk and going to bed. I really enjoy not being sad watching LA Galaxy games. It's been a long time. It has been a long time. I really enjoy going to games now and not having like the headline written for me. Galaxy drop more points. It's lovely. The Hammer, Portuguese Hammer says, how pumped are you on this LA Galaxy team? If you guys are listening to this rather than watching this, it's Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage. They're just pumping iron. Very pumped, apparently, is the Hammer. We have Happy Easter for those that celebrate. We have a lovely cake that says Nosotros si ganamos LA Galaxy in blue, white, and gold. And all of a sudden, I want dessert. Luis says LA Galaxy on top of the league, undefeated. And he at Sasha Klustjen, as you should, as all the LA Galaxy fans should at the moment. And of course, we have Anandita Kirana himself, El Gitano Perdido, with the most impressive thing so far about the LA Galaxy this season is not their MLS leading offense being top of the West or even top of the table. It's after that narrow win per Mark D, they want to forget about it and quickly move on. That's a championship winning mentality. Ananda, why did you pick that out specifically out of all the good stuff that happened? What was it that led you to pick that out specifically?
It was like I said, this was an ugly game. It was one of those games that for sure we would not win last year. And Robert, like, we're finding different ways to win this year. You know, in Nashville, we were 2-0 down with maybe 30, 35 minutes left in the game, and we had to pull it out, and we nearly pulled out the win, right? We got the draw, kept the momentum going. St. Louis, same thing. We came back, and so, like, I see like the different ways that we're winning. This one, a complete slugfest, a sloppy pitch, completely ugly day, ugly pitch. Somehow we escaped, Robert. And I know you wanted to talk about a point later, which I'm going to go back to a little bit and talk about this, which is it wasn't a perfect game, I don't think, but somehow, some way, we won. We won, right? We came back.
I agree. I agree with you that it was ugly. Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah. We came out and we got the 3 points. And that to me, and then on top of that, you have Mark Delgado after the post match talking to you guys and saying, you know what, I kind of want to move on, just forget about this. Like, I want to quickly move on from this game. He talked about sort of it wasn't their best game, but they'll take the 3 points because all three points matters, whether it's in the beginning of the season or the end of the season. And he's going to quickly move on from this. And to me, that's like this team. I heard, by the way, shout out Bryant from Nag News. He was talking yesterday, and you know, I asked this question actually. Yeah, B Loves, shout out. But I asked this question to them too yesterday, and they were nice enough to read it out on their pod. And to him, the most impressive thing for him this season has been their seriousness. They're serious, man. This is a serious team, and I can tell it from their mentality. They're happy with the 3 points, but they're not satisfied, and that to me speaks volumes as a fan, for
absolutely.
sure. And that's why I picked that out.
Absolutely. Well, you called out Mark. I told him the other day, immaculate fits. Every time he comes out and takes questions, it's just like immaculate fits. So good job, Mark Delgado, for not only balling this year, but putting together a baller wardrobe. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about the pitch and how difficult it was going to make it. We talked about Dayon not being in the starting lineup. We talked about Martin going down injured 20 minutes into the game. These kinds of things would have been excuses for this LA Galaxy team last year. It would have been a reason to kind of like roll over and say, well, the pitch is terrible. We don't have our informed striker. Our center back went down, and just roll over and either take the L and best of cases get the tie, right? It didn't happen. And I think that's the growth in this team that we're seeing. And it's translating to the field. Some match stats here, Ananda, before we head it off, give it off to you, because I know you love your stats. The LA Galaxy ranked second in MLS in goals this year with 13 after 6 games played. They lead the league in goals scored per match, 2.2. And the last time the LA Galaxy began a season unbeaten through the first 6 matches was back in 2010, which, if y'all remember, were the good old days, So
Yeah.
they're in good company right now. And Ananda, here's where I leave it to you, sir, because I know you're itching to get those stats off.
Yeah, so just really quick, guys, just to summarize the game in a snapshot of stats. If you look at the sort of, the ball possession, I mean, it was a fairly even game, but as I'll show you guys in a little bit, the second half was really sort of where we had to hold our nerve, and we were sort of under the cautious second half. But, at the end of the game, Seattle had a little more possession than us. They had twice as many expected goals, 1.7 to 0.8. They had 16 shots to our 9. And here's again, Robert, I think this is a byproduct of the pitch and just the ugliness that was. We only had one big chance this game. And usually we've seen that number be about like 3, 4, even 5 big chances. We are a team that creates the most big chances in the league. However, again, I'm not going to really put this on Seattle's defense. I'm just going to put it more to, I think, just the pitch, and we couldn't really play our game. I think Greg talked about it too. I think, Scott French, or I can't remember if it was Scott French or Kevin Baxter, asked the question, basically saying that, I think the pitch affected their game more than it did Seattle. Yeah. And yeah, so again, the stats to this one, I think it's reflective not so much on where both of these teams are performance wise, especially the Galaxy. I think it's just more of a reflection on the pitch. And, I know one of the things that you talked about to me, Robert, was like, was this one of the most complete games that I've seen in the Galaxy?
We're going there right now. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
we're gonna go there because talking about stats. So these are the I just pulled up.
You're about to see mommy and daddy fight right now. Sorry.
The second half stats. So these are the second half stats, right? And this, as a fan, so I was sitting over by the Lars section. And let me tell you, man, so shout out to La Mosca, your cousin, who's sitting next to me, and some other family as well. And all the guys like around us, right? We were nervous. I'm going to tell you right now, we were nervous that second half. I felt like we couldn't get anything going. And you know what these stats are showing, man? Like Seattle had 1.24 expected goals to our 0.12, Robert. We didn't create anything in the second half. No big chances to miss, obviously. And Seattle had 2 really big chances. And if not for a McCarthy really good save, and not for just a bad miss on Jordan Morris's part, which I'm not surprised, by the way, which I've seen some Seattle fans calling for his head lately, which I think is a little crazy.
Yeah,
Jordan Morris is a spectacular player, but
yeah,
it is what it is, right? I did not think this was a complete game. Not in the way I think that you sort of messaged me about it offline or off air. Because I think that second half we were just we got lucky. I mean, on another day, man, this could have been a 1-pointer. It could have even been a 0-pointer.
Coulda. I mean, yeah, you're right. Coulda on another day, but it wasn't. All right. Okay, look. The reason I say it was a complete performance, right? And again, Ananda and I have been kind of bickering about this one a little bit today, chat. So, and the reason I say it's a complete performance is because there's a phrase that my wife likes to say, and of course we also listen to wifey, la suerte del campeón, right? The champion's luck, right? So you need an element of a lot of different things to get wins, right? It's those moments in which you have a J-Mac come up with a big save. It's those moments where you have a team pick their head up and say, our starting center back went down. It doesn't matter. We're going to get that clean sheet. It has those moments where the pitch is really, really wet and you can't play your football, right? But despite all that, and not only that, but in the second half, you don't have a great offensive performance, and that's what you've been known for this year. And so you tough it out and you get the defensive performance that you've been lacking all year and get the clean sheet. I mean, the only thing I can liken it to is Kobe against the Celtics, where his shot wasn't falling, and what did he do? He got the win in the other way. He crashed the boards. He started helping out his teammates, and they got the win. La suerte del campeón. You get your wins how you can, where you can, and in whatever form necessary. And this time, it was them putting in a complete defensive performance. They had already gotten their goal, and like Matt says, very impressive to hold the lead for about 90 minutes. I mean, this is what we've been asking for this team, right? Be defensively sound, get that shutout, and don't give up cheap goals. And they didn't, and they could have. And yeah, the JMac was a little bit of luck, but I mean, really, like that's just like frustration boiling over from not getting anything all games, all of a sudden finding yourself in the position to score and you fluff your lines. I mean, that's that mental thing that we've been talking about all season, right? And he didn't have his mentals right because he had been struggling with nephew all game, right? So I mean, that's what makes this a complete performance to me. They got it where they could, and they got the 3 points. So I mean, chat. I mean, let us know who do you agree with. I mean, it's okay if you say that Ananda's wrong. He can take it.
Here's what I'll say, and this is maybe like I mean, this may be semantics, and this is maybe just like me like honing in on the question, which is again the question was, is this the most complete performance this year? And maybe my answer is yes, but it's not the most complete performance that this Galaxy team can be. And so what I mean by that is
not at all.
And so like, you know, one of the things that I think this team can even still improve on, and this is by the way a testament to I think how great this version of the Galaxy can be, which is C Miles talked about this a few episodes ago, which is this idea of game management and game management for 90 minutes. One of the things that was really letting me down in the second half was we were giving ball or possession away very cheaply, and we were shooting ourselves in the foot. We were creating offensive transition moments that we really didn't need to. There was a couple moments where we would get involved in midfield. I'm going to talk about Ricky right now. I even talk about Gaston in certain moments where, you know, you're up 1-0. It's a horrible pitch. The game's kind of going back and forth. Seattle's having a good series of sustained possession. Why not calm the game down, slow the tempo? You don't have to play hero ball and get out of your half and break on the transition, which we try to do a couple times, and lose the ball cheaply. I think this is the next sort of unlock for this team, Robert, is game management, especially if you want to be now I'm setting the bar real high, Robert. If we want to be a championship team, right? If we want to be a supporter shield winning team,
we do.
These are the little sort of game management things that I think will even raise the bar even more for this team. And I think this team's capable of doing it. I know they can do it, but that was the one thing. And that to me will signify that, you know what, this is a complete 90-minute performance.
Yeah, but you're asking this team to do it with what they have at present, with the Gabriel Peck that's started twice, with Gaston Brugman that has his first start of the season. I mean, again, we can't ask for anything other than what we've been asking for this team, which was a complete defensive performance, and they got it. ¿Qué más quieres, papá? ¿Qué más quieres?
No. The bar's getting raised though, and this is a positive, by the way. I now want to spin this into a positive. This is a good thing, Robert. This is a good debate that we're having. I think this is where, and I think people like Mark Delgado, they've got the right mentality. You heard him, man. They just want to move on from this game. 3 points, and let's go del Tráfico. With being first in the West.
No, I agree with you. You know what? Like I said, that doesn't impact whether it's a complete performance or not. Yes, it was ugly, but yes, for me, it was complete. They got their 3 points. So what else is complete other than unbeaten 3 points in first place? I mean, hey, let's go, right?
Well, Matt agrees with you apparently, and
he's a smart man.
And Chris says our next family gathering is going to be spicy. Well, yeah, it's going to be spicy on the food front and the conversaciones, you know.
Yeah, they're always spicy. I mean, you get Ananda on the mic during karaoke, and it's gonna go off the chain.
Get out of here.
All right. So one of the things that you asked me throughout the day is could this be a turning point for them, right? And really, I sat on this all day, and I kind of wanted to ask you here live. You know, does that mean a turning point for the defense or for the team in general?
For the defense. Remember, this is the first clean sheet. Maya seemed really happy about it too post match. And again, I think on a different day, on a sunny day, I don't think this is going to be, this is a 1-0. I think there's goals in this game. There was goals to be had in this game, both ways, by the way. But I think psychologically, mentally, Robert, I'm going to answer this question for you myself. Again, despite what I just said a moment ago, I think mentally, psychologically, I think this is for the back four and for the back five, if you include JMac, this is a really important moment for that defense. And I
Hey,
think this is going to
absolutely.
give us the confidence moving forward. I mean, even Robert, now I pulled up the expected goals conceded stats last time with Nico. Now we are a top 10 defense if you look at expected goals conceded at 9.2,
Míralo.
and we've given up 9 this season. So we're no longer underperforming. We're performing to par. And I heard Tom Boger earlier in his video that he dropped earlier today say, even if the Galaxy is an average sort of middle of the road defense, he feels like the 3DPs, the attacking punches this team has, they just need to be an average defensive team to sort of be a top team in the West and in the league, right? Which is kind of crazy to think about. But I mean, imagine if they had a season like Columbus last year, where all of a sudden back half of the season their defense ramps up. They got a couple of defensive signings and they go on to win MLS Cup, Robert, with that offense that they have. So are we going to see the same trajectory for this year's LA Galaxy? We don't know, TBD, but hey man, signs are good. And this could be the turning point moment for sure.
Well, if it is a turning point moment, it's Chris is going to have his shot at the end of the season. All I want to do is show up at the digs after winning our 6th cup and taking a page from Rocky Balboa's book and yell, "Yo, Adrian, we did it!" Yeah, I'm gonna join you. I mean, again, it's gonna be. It's gonna be like that scene in Shawshank where Andy breaks out and he just like washes himself in the rain. That's what it's gonna be like for all of us. It's like all of the pain of the last 10 years is gone. So let's hope that we get there this season, guys. So Ananda, there's been a lot of praise for Gabriel Peck, rightly so, for his performance. He finally shows flashes of what the Galaxy signed him for. I mean, he's had a goal and an assist in the last 2 games, but in this one, he played 90 minutes and he really balled out. I mean, the Galaxy called his goal the moment of the match. Was it for you?
It was not, actually. Was it for you? I will tell you who my moment of the match is, but I was wondering what yours was. Was it the Peck goal or was it something else?
No, it was Martin's injury, actually. Again,
interesting.
Yeah. Again, I mean, this is the moment where the Galaxy could have rolled over and said, you know what, it just got too hard and give it up, but they didn't. Eric Zavaleta came in, did really, really well, and they got their clean sheet. And so for me, that was the moment of the match. It's kind of like you said, like the turning point thing, like we just got a clean sheet. We know we can do it. We can do it again. Right. So
yeah.
What about you?
Well, so I'm going to pull up this comment real quick from
Big Tony.
Chris.
Welcome.
Mac Daddy is going to have to show up on Saturday or else LAFC fans are going to be calling him a wash player. Yeah, it's true. But you know what? Speaking of J-Mac, that was actually my moment of the match, Robert. It was that amazing sort of one-handed save from J-Mac that stopped a Danny Musovski. We talked about the Moose too earlier on in the season, which is funny. Had to be him, by the way, that's where Moose does his damage. I mean, he gets in good positions, great little ball in, and I was sitting on sort of that opposite corner, right? So I got a clear picture of the opposite side of the pitch on that. Dude, that was going top bins. It was going top left corner. Somehow J-Mac just, como el gato el man, just bam. And I was looking at your cousin like, hey, this guy, he's not distributing the ball well today, but boy, when he came up with a big save, he answered the call for sure.
Woo, it's going to be interesting for him. All the, us seeing all the emotions, of a former player going back to LAFC, that, I mean, he's been a professional, so I wonder what's going to be going through his head emotionally, next week. But anyway, J-Mac did his thing. I mean, it was hard in our discussions to pick somebody from the defense, because Audi could have gotten it. Everybody did really well, but we settled for J-Mac as one of the defend of the badge candidates. And speaking of defending the badge, your candidates were Joe Pants, the unbreakable one, Joseph Paintsil. He notched an assist. he hit the post again for the third time this season. He leads the league in the post hit. He combined really, really well with Ricky and Gabriel Peck, and where we're starting to see their understanding grow. Of course, they linked up for the only goal of the game. Joe Pants is third in MLS with key passes with 15 so far. We did talk about Eric Zavaleta at length, or at least I did. When called on to replace Martin Cáceres, he did so with aplomb. He helped the defense keep the clean sheet, and just generally, he's stepping up whenever he needs to and performing. So that's of course, defending the badge right there. When called on, you play your heart out and you defend the badge. Third candidate here is J Mac. We just got done talking about him. He had the clean sheet, made 2 saves, especially that one-hand save that Ananda was talking about. He earned his first shutout of the season. But our fourth candidate, it's no surprise that Gabriel Peck wins with 63% of the people's vote. He scored his first goal for the LA Galaxy, and in the 4th minute. And now he has 2 goal contributions in the last 2 games. Again, he for me played really, really well in this game. Matt shouted out that honestly he's a little concerned about Peck's seeming very left-footed. I'm gonna have to notice on that a little bit more next match. But in this one, Gabriel Peck started and played 90 minutes. Yes, Ananda?
No, I was gonna say I just responded to him saying that Messi is also very left-footed. So there you go.
I mean, yeah, but who? Messi who? When you have all these guys in first place right here on the supporter shield? Come on. So Gabriel Peck, he had 70 touches. He was very involved in the match. 91% pass accuracy rating. He created 2 chances. He won 11 of 16 duels. He recovered a game high 11, completed 5 of 8 dribbles, won 3 of 3 tackles, and won 3 fouls, resulting in 3 Seattle yellow cards. He did it on both sides of the pitch. I mean, he played on both wings throughout the
Worked
game.
extremely hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, he, like I said, he showed those flashes of brilliance, which, had Galaxy fans, excited for his signing, and which is why the Galaxy broke the bank for him. For his efforts, he did make MLS Team of the Match Day. And that's, I think one Galaxy player every single week that's made Team of the Match Day. So I think, Ananda, you were saying how it's gratifying to see a Galaxy player every week. Was that you, or did I imagine that?
Yeah. I did put something out there about that. Yeah, I mean, Robert, when was the last time? I mean, and it's not the same person. So we're not a one-dimensional team,
No,
right?
not at all.
Mark finally got his first. You got Ricky, of course. JP. I mean, and this is the thing, right? Like, and this is what makes the Galaxy a very dangerous team this year. Unlike last year, where it was pretty predictable where we're gonna go, and Boyd seemed to
Ricky.
be a lot of our outlets, and it's Ricky, right? This year we're not as one-dimensional. We can attack you from the middle from day on. We can attack you from the left. We can attack you from the right. We can attack you from a deep lying playmaking position like a Gaston. Gaston was the one that hit JP with an amazing little sort of sweep ball. JP chested it down and then he hit the post, right? So we can hit you from a various, from all shapes and sizes and angles, and it's this dynamicism that I think makes this team very, very dangerous offensively. I mean, I don't need to pull up the stats anymore. You guys know, if you guys have been watching the show, I mean, we are very dangerous. We are top, I would say top 2 or 3 in every offensive statistic offensively, and this is why, right? And again, I have to say this again, credit goes to Will Kuntz and the staff for putting this team together, right? Putting all the places in the right, sort of all the people in the right places, not putting square pegs in round holes, and having all the players sort of connect with each other and complement their skill set. And now it's a beautiful thing to see on the pitch. Robert, I mean, I can't believe that we actually saw champagne football in this match on an ugly pitch, right? Champagne football. I mean, some of those plays, like that one that Gabriel Peck missed, like all of us were just going like this, man, because that was champagne football, and this, expect to see that from the LA Galaxy this season for sure.
Well, since this is LA, we're gonna call it Modelo football. because that seems to be
Michelada football.
the Michelada football. But yeah, man, there was a lot of really good passages of play, and I actually was talking with Andrew Hernandez. Shout out Andrew. Congratulations to Andrew as well, who joined us in the press box for the first time.
Yeah, shout out.
It was lovely having you up there, man. And so he sat next to me, and we were talking about what this team can do when you have the starting 11 there. So Gaston made his first start, but we were missing Joveljic, sorry, in the starting lineup. So imagine the starting 11 on a good pitch, on a pitch that isn't slowing them down. I mean, it's gonna be lights out. I mean, I can't wait to see that version of this team. Hopefully we see that next weekend in El Tráfico.
That's right.
But where are we after 6 games, Ananda? I'm glad you asked, even though you didn't. So the Galaxy are still unbeaten. They're 3-0-3 on 12 points. Per corner of the Galaxy, they got the 12 points 9 games faster than in 2023. And last year it took them 15 games. 15 games, man. We were going through it last year. Galaxy are first in the West and first in the Supporter Shield race. They're the only unbeaten team remaining in the West and only one of 3 unbeaten teams in the league, along with Cincinnati and Philadelphia Union. This is the 6th best start in the team's 29-year history. Hey, on the up and up. I like it. So, Ananda, anything to add before we start making our way out of here?
No, just one. Since you're shouting out Corner of the Galaxy, I also did see the stat that Josh pulled up that for a MLS Cup winning LA Galaxy season, this ties the points total for for that MLS Cup winning season. So, I mean, again, guys, we're only 6 games in. Let's hold our horses. Frenamos, right? Like hold on a second. But I mean, again, all the signs are really good, and I feel like there's so much potential in this team. I'm me myself, like you probably hear it in my voice and sort of like the things that I'm talking about, but I'm starting to really believe in this team, and it's because everything is just coming together in the right way, both like technically, but also like mentally, right? One of the things that we didn't talk about, which I saw a few people in the chat, I wanted to pull it up earlier. I think they were talking about sort of here we go. It's Chris. He talked about, did anyone else notice Peck's frustration?
Yeah.
Reminded me when Ricky Ferris came
Absolutely.
over.
He was waving his arms a bunch.
Well, here's the thing, man. And this is one of the things that sort of like, because I noticed a certain moment too in the game where, I don't know if any of you guys in chat caught this, but it was Gaston was yelling at Ricky. They were both yelling at each other, and it was off of Ricky tried to dummy a ball that Gaston didn't get, and it led into a turnover and an offensive break the other day, and they were just going at it, bro. And I
accountability. I love it.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like last year, you look at like Chicharito doing that, or like some other players, and it just didn't hit right. Like it didn't strike the note, right? It didn't go for what it was intended for. But this year, we're looking at it as accountability, and I think that just goes to show like the togetherness, like the vibes in this team. Like they'll take constructive criticism and they'll hold each other accountable, and they won't take it last year like it's your fault, it's finger pointing, it's blame, which is kind of how it was perceived last year. Again, you would probably have more insight than I do in the locker room, but that's how I perceived it, right? As an outsider looking in, and it showed up in the results, by the way, right? And it showed up in the way that the team was willing to fight and sort of work for each other. But now, man, this year everyone's holding each other accountable. And dude, this year, like if I see a fight break out on the pitch between players, I'm good with that. Like that to me is showing, hey, like this team everyone is on each other with like making sure that everyone is doing what they need to do to get the team to win. And I'm all for that, man.
I want to take a moment here to have Rawls' question addressed because it's important.
Raul, squeaky bum time, my friend. Squeaky bum time. But you know what? The only thing I'll say about that game is I'm happy with the point. I'm glad it's over. Let's move on. Let's get the season over with.
You're really going to let Prophet Alex and the Scousers take the title, aren't you? You all really going to let that happen?
No, because you know what? Your team is going to take points off of the
That's not gonna
Scousers and Alex
happen.
Ruiz in 2 weeks. Come
That's not gonna
on.
happen, bro.
Come
Come on.
on, bro.
You
Glory,
you
glory,
okay?
right? Come on.
Yeah, of course, glory. But I mean, they're not gonna. They haven't scored a goal in Anfield like in 10 years or something like that. It's garbage, bro. Like it's horrible. Anyway, I know that
I was stressed overall for sure, but I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's over now. It's gone. It's gone.
Judge Sophie, wherever you're at, I'm sorry it didn't go your way. You know, I really was pulling for you guys because, again, I would much rather Arsenal win the title than the Scousers or Man City. Sorry, Justin. Sorry, Kevin Baxter. I know you guys are City fans, but it is what it is. All right. Well, geez, I think that might be it for us today. Coming up.
Really quick though, hey, shout out, it's Chris. Thank you, my brother. Make sure to hit that like button, chat. If you have not, it will help us immensely. And hit that subscribe too while you're at it.
Hey, yeah, just you gotta click twice. Hit like and then hit subscribe.
By the way,
then...
and I was gonna say, Rob, speaking of Judge Sophie, you know, she has this thing on the Hybrid Squad. She has like something called a chief like officer, which I kind of like that idea. It's like someone who's in charge of making sure that someone hits the likes. I don't know. Maybe you should put out the, maybe you should put out the feelers out there and see if anyone wants to.
We can pay
our
you
like officer.
We can pay you in all
pupusas?
the pupusas. Yeah,
Exactly.
all the pupusas. Exactly. All right. Well, I guess we are in search of our first chief like officer, and we'll be taking applications at lacunagalaxiana@gmail.com. So coming up, guys, there's another edition of El Tráfico, 22nd edition in all competitions. That one goes down on April 6th. The announced game time is 4:30, but it actually happens at 4:55 p.m. at BMO Stadium. Last game, 4-2 LAFC win. Of course, we'll go ahead and bring you everything you need to know. Media availability for us is on Thursday, so we'll go ahead and talk to Greg and talk to some Galaxy players and see what mood is like before the match. But you know what, Ananda? If you got nothing else, man, all I got to say is you know where to find us, youtube.com/at Lacuna Galaxiana. We do have a match preview coming up with special guest Justin Ruderman of MLS.com on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Go ahead and check us out. Of course, you already know that's happening if you subscribe, because it'll be like, hey, this thing is about to pop off. So you can just like click the button after your phone tells you. So go ahead. Sending my resume.
Andrew no está mandando el resume y se ve, y mira, it's Chris también, and he wants those pupusas. Mira.
Ooh, okay. Well, we'll look for those. We'll look for those CVs and resumes and at the Gmail. All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it. LA Galaxy, a night of first, top of the table, top of the supporter shield, first home win, first Gabriel Peck goal, and man, the feels are there, the vibes are there, and now it's an El Tráfico. We did say that harder games were on the way. Well, this one is a big one. If they can go ahead and get this win or get a result here, then hey, it just leads more credence to the Galaxy are back discussion. Well, right. Ananda, you want to say one last thing to the folks, or are we out?
I'm going to let you take the last word, my friend.
All righty, guys. One thing left to say. G's up. Wow.